Jeff and David, I wanted to
I'm ready.
get you guys together today just because I wanted to start to understand this whole the flywheel concept behind ScPrime and XNet and the whole idea behind it. Could could you just kind of like start from like the very base level to help me understand like what it is that all of that means?
XNet, as we know it right now, as we've known it for the past couple years, exists in the examiner and the SPC, SBD, the basic license, in which both cases in which a node operator, an individual, runs a cloud storage provider, right?
Hmm.
You log on to this network and you stick a hard drive and you say, hey, look, there's a 10 terabytes available to rent space.
Right.
And this is the root of cloud storage, right? Like, this is what happens if you use a hyperscale. This is what happens if you use Filecoin or storage or Gaia or whatever, any of these things. Even Arweave, in theory, you're renting space, right?
Right.
Either it goes on a blockchain. In this case, it goes on a hard drive, and it's backed on the blockchain, payments and where data goes. Or, I've been involved in SCP since day zero. I was in SIA with guys before that, and I've always been building the node that caught the data.
Hmm.
And there was always in SIA, there was this really janky renter. In SCP, when we ran a command line on the basic, you had to make sure you didn't run the renter because it was such a memory hog. You'd create memory loss and you'd crash the whole damn thing. So anyways, we've been building the network that holds data. Now we're at the place where we have built with the relayer a mechanism to send customer data to nodes, to X's, to licenses.
So
So
as
you
it stands right
upload.
now, I mean, we have two different basic nodes, right? We have the examiner, which is the miner, the device that the corporation sells, right? It's the black box that you've seen. You can look at other videos on Chain Nation and see what that looks like. And then there's the DIY where you'd actually purchase a license for a small new PC or something that has a hard drive hooked to it. And so those are the two types of nodes that we're talking about here, right?
Right. And if you run a full license, if you're running a full X license, as the corporation would say, you are running an examiner. It's not a built examiner. You're running the same exact thing.
Right.
The network sees you as the same exact thing.
Yeah.
You upload, data sits there. So if we're in a traditional cloud environment, you're the customer, I'm the cloud, right? You want to store stuff with me, you click some buttons, you sign some forms, you enter your information, we have a couple calls back and forth, you get a end user license agreement, give you an address, and you upload stuff to it, right?
Right.
It's a one-way operation. You upload, you might download, I charge you. Every 30 days, you get a big fat invoice from me that pays for my yacht.
Right.
You get the benefit of not having to have a IT department and have a server running in your place, and you have backups and you have redundancy and you have all these things. But that's not what happens in XNS, because in XNS, you're the data center, I'm the data center. And we can think about that in the hyperscale way, in the cloud client versus service way,
Hmm.
but it doesn't end there. This is where the flywheel kicks in. Since it doesn't end there, anybody can go out and sell cloud space. You can buy cloud space from me. You could say, hey Jeff, I need 100 terabytes of cloud space, or I can say, hey David, I need 100 terabytes of cloud space.
Right.
And the corporation, SCP Corporation, sets it up so that they will bill me and I will bill you, or the money will get paid
Hmm.
money then pays the host, the Exa hosts
Mm-hmm.
to hold their data, and then the customer pays me, and I can make the overage, so I can sell it to you based on my support. I can sell it to you based on however I manage to convince you this is the network for you. I mean, if it involves me running your computers so you don't have to ever touch them, that's I could charge you for that, right?
Right, right.
Or I could say, hey, listen, you know what you're doing. I'm going to give it to you for the thinnest margin, and you're going to use the network. You're going to pay the examiners. You're going to pay the corporation. I could do that for free. I could do that for less than free. What? Less than free? Sub-zero, right? Because if I have examiners and you're putting your data on my examiner, I'm getting paid
Right.
for that.
Mhm.
I gotcha.
I mean,
So you're
David, how
working
many exas do you have, Dave?
How many what? Sorry?
How many examiners do you have right now?
I have one hardware examiner, and then I have 4 software-based ones. Yep.
How many terabytes do you have available? Total offered, roughly.
Yeah. So what I have available, I was kind of doing some like minor adjustments to kind of change out a few hard drives. Or if you looked at it, it's a little lower, but the actual hard drive space, I kind of have setting on side and currently in place. I would say it's about 100 terabytes, somewhere 120 terabytes worth.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, and I know Mike's got tons. Mike's got
Well,
like 300
I've got about
or
the
something
same.
like that, probably.
I've got
Really?
7 providers right now. I've got 3 examiners and 4 DIYs. Altogether, I think I got 112 terabytes. But the total capacity wise is upwards of 400, 500 terabytes is what I could do.
Good. Okay, right. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, I have 2 DIYs.
Mm-hmm.
Both have a 16 on them, and I have a 64. But both those 16s have in a double bay drive, so we could add another 32 a minute, right? Literally, boom, boom, Amazon overnight, and plug it in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This is where the flywheel happens, right? Because if I sell you that data, right, and I tell you I'll give you that data I won't charge you anything over what the corporation, the baseline, whatever the lowest deal we can make.
Mm-hmm.
I can point some, not all, obviously, but I can point some of your data at my computers, my Exos. And I'm getting paid $4 a terabyte for those things.
Right.
So even if I, even like, and now what if I had 100 Exos? Because every bit of data, right, needs, like, the number that we're talking about now it's like 80 hosts and 40 for the parity set, which is like 80 holds the data and 40 holds where the data is backed up, doubled over. I'm getting it all wrong. Everyone's going to yell at me later. But
you get off. If you leave a comment in the comment section of the video to get you.
Sorry, Ken. Sorry, Henry. But the point being, it's got to be on a bunch of hosts, right?
Right.
So if you've got one Exa, you're going to get, let's just call it 100, right? You're going to get 1/100th of your own data, which isn't a lot. But if you have 100 X's, and they're distributed. Obviously, you don't want them in the same damn room.
No.
You don't want 100 X's sitting on one short local DSL line on one power supply. You're going to lose power, you're going to lose internet, and you got nothing.
Right.
But if you imagine you own a chain of donut shops across the Midwest, right? You got 50 stores or 200 stores, and you put an X in each one. All your data can go distributed to you. Like, you're paying yourself back. And forget your data. What if I sold 100 terabytes of cloud to this magical invented donut shop, Stan Makita's, I think it's called, right?
Yeah.
I sell Stan Makita 100 terabytes, and I point them to my 100 X's. Because Stan Makita doesn't want to bother with that shit.
Right.
He says, you're giving me a great price. I could care less.
Yeah.
No, that's the end. So I'm getting $4 for every one of those terabytes that's on my X. And that's getting paid. That's how it's supposed to be. That's the offer. Anybody someone will host all those terabytes, right? That terabyte
Yeah.
goes to the network. That network pays $4. The end. So if you're in control of where they go, that's where the flywheel kicks in. So it can be the donut shop says, we want 100 X's, and that's great for the bottom line for the corporation.
Yeah.
And it's great for the health of the network. They buy 100 licenses or they buy 100 X's. They put them in all their data centers. They put them in all their stores. Under every counter, there's an Exa just sitting there. They don't have to update it. They don't have to worry about anything. If they pay for the extra, the Exa care,
Mm-hmm.
our drive dies, overnight them a new one, pop it in there, keep on going. All duplicated. It's not,
Yeah.
one went down. They're
Yeah.
going to die. That's what it's hardware. It does that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
It's warranty.
But this data is completely secure too, which is a pretty incredible aspect of the whole relay or functionality, right?
Right, 'cause it's on the other 99,
Right.
right? It's on the other 99 and other 79 and parity sets. And so that's the flywheel. If they are smart enough and they buy themselves 100 X's,
Mm-hmm.
then they're paying themselves back. Like what's the top line? It's sitting at $7 right now, right?
Mhm.
$8. If
Seven.
if you're getting $7, getting 4 of that back, you're paying. Then so all of a sudden you're paying 3. And I'm pretty sure that if you're willing to go to 100 X's and put 100 terabytes on the network, someone's going to negotiate your price down a little bit there too.
Sure.
So now you're paying 6. You're paying yourself 4. So you're paying $2 a terabyte.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then so why not? Then why not get another 100 X's, right? Buy another 100 X's, them all to your network. So now you have double the redundancy, availability, and then you also have capacity for the rest of those X's to be sitting on the network at large. So you've got 264 terabyte X's, which is what, 128?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know. 1,280 terabytes, right?
Yep.
What that is? Someone calculator?
Well,
Marky, leave a comment.
Yeah.
But so now you're offering more than you host, right? And once this flywheel gets going, and you're getting paid $4 for every terabyte, and you're getting paid for more terabytes than you use, you are now making money on your cloud storage.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty wild, isn't it? But it's such a
It could be illegal, really.
It's a pretty interesting like a gift kind of, right, for the small MSPs, big MSPs, whatever. Those IT consultants and all the different IT service companies around that have all this this ability and capacity to set these up. It's a great opportunity for a lot of people, I think.
Oh, absolutely. I'm waiting for Amazon. I'm waiting for somebody from AWS to realize how good it is
Yeah.
and start using it.
Yeah.
Start saying, whoa, we can charge $30 and we can only pay $7? Like where's that? Like, how did that happen?
I know. How does this?
What are they going to say?
What happens with that?
Look how much they're going to say. Amazon's going to say, wow, it costs us a shit ton to run a data center and to keep the lights on and to staff it and to keep it updated. But we could just put it on the XNS network and pay them $7. Like,
yeah, it is a little bit strange, isn't it? That their opportunity is even for them, even for AWS.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
It's for everybody.
Yeah.
David, you said that you have a little bit of MSP experience.
Yeah, that's where I gained most of my just IT knowledge. Worked for 2 different MSPs, local MSPs in the area. Yep.
And so I'm sure that you can this little magic thing.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Yeah.
there's opportunity in that front too. Just like, I could imagine an MSP, like they already have. Like, I worked for one MSP that they they partnered up with a backup software that like gave them a really good deal. Like they were partners, and so like they like as an MSP, you're obviously one of the responsibilities is you're in charge of where the data lives, and even more so, just like where the backup solutions are too. So just like that's just one of the things that we really had to think about, and I think it would just be a really great solution. I don't know any other like storage related cloud platform that allows you the ability to break even on what you're paying for. I think that's a great partnership, to be honest. Like,
yeah, ideal, right?
like as an MSP, that should be one of the easiest sells in my opinion. And you can charge your customer, you can have your provider set. They're housed locally. You can even have it if you work it out with your customers. You can host some of the providers there as well. But yeah, I think yeah.
There's a few different ways for someone to get involved from that perspective, right? I mean, you can work with your client and have local relayer installation, right? And as well as you can have it set up to be off-site, depending on what their needs are. What does that look like?
Absolutely.
What does that look like? I'm not exactly familiar with the ins and outs of that.
David, you want to take that one?
Yeah, David.
Sure. Yeah, hosting it where? Sorry, I think this is part of that.
Yeah, like in-house or client side. If you're
for the relayer.
Yeah, with a relayer, is it just a matter of setting up a relayer in an office for yourself, and you can service a number of customers from one location, versus an alternative to having that would be setting up a relayer at a client's location?
Yeah, I think that's going to be really dependent on the customer needs. Like for instance, if there's a customer that is okay with housing some hardware, because that's where the relayer needs to be set up into and onto, you can throw that on a piece of hardware that's capable of handling this, these pre-encryption XNet services type of stuff. I know it's super technical.
Yeah.
I didn't say that right.
Yeah.
But it, that's what it does. It pre-encrypts it and shards it out, right? So throwing that onto a piece of hardware that they're able to put on their network, and you don't even need to open up any like port forwarding. It just that could be an easy, quick thing that a customer is able to self-manage, have a little bit more control over too, or you can kind of offer a self-hosted relayer where like me, I would set up a relayer instance on one of my co-location areas where I do the technical work ahead of time, and I make it available public to other corporations. Very similar. I mean, it's a cloud storage, so they have the ability to connect up to my relayer instance in order to utilize the XNS services. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Jeff, you want to add any more to that?
Yeah, I mean, when we talk about it being hosted, like at David's or in a colo or whatever, much more aligned with a traditional cloud endpoint is what AWS would call it. That's when you connect to US East 1.aws, that's the endpoint. And that's going to be a lot easier for a lot of clients, especially small ones, right? Like somebody who just is used to backing up their nightly sales or pointing their Veeam or like whatever it is that they share to their bucket. They may not want to stand up a piece of hardware, right? And they may not have anybody who can technically do it. They may not even know how to change their endpoint. But that's literally, I've sent screenshots like, here, go here, click here, enter this address here, here's your password, go, and it works.
Hey, I think that's
putting a relayer on. Go ahead, Mike.
That's key, though, isn't it? It is that easy to set up.
Oh, it's literally like someone. There's no reason that this can't be done with enter your credit card, Shopify, Stripe, whatever, enter your credit card, create a password, enter it into a bucket, like that's just a little bit of scripting away, right? And then all of a sudden you're a new client, the end,
Oh, wow.
right?
Right.
Bill you at the end of the month. But having a relayer on premise does provide the client with a lot of value for the effort, right? Because if they run a relayer locally, then nothing leaves their offices, location, campus without being encrypted. Everything goes straight to the relayer, everything comes right back to the relayer, gets into their local network and zips around as it needs it. And, there is a hardware requirement, but it feels like David was saying, anybody that's comfortable with that and maybe has a little bit of on-site hardware already, it's not that extensive of it. I mean, it needs a processor and a modern one, and it needs some RAM to really perform. But especially if you're not hitting it hard, if you're running 1,000-person office, multinational corporation, then you need a real machine.
Yeah, that's a different scenario. That's a different scenario.
Totally, but it's still a scenario. If you're a mom and pop
that lives within.
It'll happen. Of course, it'll happen. Yeah. Of course, it'll happen.
Yeah.
And then and so go to that situation, right? Go to this anonymous multinational corporation that's got 1,000 employees in a campus somewhere outside of a city, right? And they have marketing, and they have marketing, and they have R&D,
right.
and they have just the paperwork that happens. They have billing, they have HR, all these things are accumulating. Whenever they back up to a cloud, they have to send it unencrypted over the main ass internet to Virginia, Seattle, to Phoenix. Why are they building data centers in Phoenix? They keep doing it. Like, what the fuck? Like, you have to send it. You send all your data all day long. Billing, HR, marketing, hey, upload that to the share bucket so we can all work on that together. And it just goes bing, 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 bing. So why not put that relay office?
Yeah.
Stick a bunch of cache on it. Have a local cache. Working off the LAN, and it's encrypting and sending up. You can we've always talked about how there can be priority based on the need for, okay, guess what? It's end of the month and billing gets priority. Everybody, marketing can slow down and push up overnight, or HR can do it on Sundays because, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, right.
In the immediacy.
Yeah.
And it's the first of the month and you're going to release your new sales catalog and you're going to send it out to 150,000 clients, right?
Right.
And you want that PDF to zip down when they get it.
Yeah.
These are all the things that we do.
Yeah, I think that's maybe what we talk about next time when we get together. Let's just talk about more of the use cases, because I think it's, I think that will be what will be interesting for folks. And I think that in addition to just explaining how the flywheel effect works, the use cases are just incredible, and they're wide ranging, really are.
I got one more little use case that David and I were talking about in the Discord today.
Sure.
And it's the mafia use case.
Oh, I can't wait to hear.
It's the mafia flywheel. Like, I'm not talking about selling to the mafia.
Oh, shoot.
Be part of the family.
Okay.
Yeah. So when we talk about this idea, this mythical donut shop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's got 100 terabytes, and they don't want to run X's. They can't be bothered. They haven't figured it out yet. They just want to use the cloud. So now I have as their SP, as their manager, say it's me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have control of their relayer provider set. Provider set can be chosen the relayer. Like if you're in the EU, we know there's EU protected data laws.
Mm-hmm.
You can't store data outside of the EU. So if you're in the EU, you're going to pick, okay, I need to pick this data set. If you are, there's rule, like I'm sure lots of countries have these rules for protective stuff based on what uses they are.
Right.
You can set that by region. You can set that US East, US West. You can set North America. You can set Europe. But it's got the potential. It's got the ability. It's not super instinctive and natural yet. But you are able to plunk in provider public keys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like every node, every Exa, every DIY has a pub key, which is your license is tied to it, so we know it's you.
Right.
So I got Stan Makita's 100 terabytes, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have room. I only have three Exas, so that means there's 117 more providers needed, right? What if I said to you, Mike, hey, you got 7 X's. How about I send you how about you pay me $1 per month? That's it, $1.
Yep.
And I will put you on my provider list.
For guaranteed data,
You know,
right?
it's a protection racket.
Yeah.
And so guess what? You're getting data. Everybody in the Discord wants data. When data. Yeah. And so now I can sell. I have 3, you have 7. I got 110 more to sell. So it's 110, and it can be, I got 100 terabytes to push up, right? And those terabytes are duplicated. So we're going to put 300 terabytes-ish on the Exa network. Reads and writes and ups and downs is going to grow.
Yep.
I say to you, $1 a month per terabyte. Add your pub key to my list. Set up some structure where you pay me an SCP.
Yep.
You're good for 30 days. Put it on a block height expire. You got 4,000 blocks, which is approximately 28 days. You know, End of 4,000 blocks. You got to pay me again, or I take you off my pub key list.
Heck yeah.
Like it's a protection racket.
Right.
Yep. But it's not wrong because you want data and I'm giving you data.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And you're getting $4, but you're only getting $3.
Yeah, it's a legitimate transaction for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, and if you don't want to do it, don't do it.
Yeah.
Fine. But guess what? You're like 500 terabytes. I sold that. I went and I hustled and I sold Stan Makita on his terabytes.
Yeah.
And I negotiated and I told him, listen, you can make this money back. And he said, I don't want to do it. You know, he's an old guy. He's crockety. He owns a bunch of donut shop. What the fuck does he know? And so, and like, it can be a shared, it can be the multiple people running relayers can share this. Of course, you sign a new client up and the new client says, I want to take part, they can only take part with the number of nodes that they share, right? They can't take 120. They shouldn't.
Yeah.
And maybe you can't own them all. Like this is still gray area. Maybe you can't own them all. Maybe for random you have to 60 go to random. Who knows what the best case performance is, right?
Maybe you do that over time. Like you don't need to do it now, but you get a few providers a year or 10, 20 providers a year. Like you can work your way up.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Exactly.
Yep.
It's a crazy. That's some flywheel right there.
Yeah.
Hey, well, that was really good, guys. Thanks so much for talking today. And so let's get together again soon and kind of continue the discussion. Okay.
Yeah, this was fun.
All
Thanks,
right.
David.
All right, we'll see you later, guys.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, guys.
All right, bye now.
Good night.
All right. Have a good night. Bye.